Hey one and all, it's iVegeta FH1. So I was thinking about quantum physics there a little while ago, and I was trying to wrap my head around a few things, and I noticed something, well, a couple of things that honestly look quite the same to me. For example, superposition and um, uh, the other one, the linked. Uh, God damn, I can't even remember the name of it now. I suppose that's what happens when I get out of the bed too fast. Um, uh, there was another one, the warping effect, where um, point A sends a signal around an object, ends up at point B, and then ends up at point A again. Now, this, from the way I'm thinking about it, it looks like superposition. Um, and the linked one, I can't remember the fucking the name of the linked one. Hold on while I fucking Google that. Or I would if my internet was working. Wow. Okay. Um, but the way I'm looking at it, I'm gonna pull up Paint, and I'm gonna put this on paper because if you have a circle representing the the center object of what this state is going around, be it whatever it doesn't really matter, whatever the fuck, and you draw 2 points, point A and point B, and point A and point A is where it starts and point B is where it ends, and you have something going around an object in some way, shape, or form, and that has a start and an end, but yet it continuously goes. Is it just me, or does that look like a wave? It honestly, it looks like a wave. And if you draw it on paint, you draw a circle, you draw 2 points, and you drag the line beneath the circle, and then you copy and paste it, does that not look like a wave? To me, it really does. It looks extraordinarily similar to a wave. And the rotation of the object itself looks like the amount of wraps it does around it. Or, sorry, I'll re explain that because that's very confusing. The part underneath the ball looks like an extended portion of it. And that's the amount of wraps it does around the ball. That it's a very strange thing that I just thought about. I was lying in the bed while I was waking up, and I was just thinking about quantum physics, and I'm just like, it looks like a wave, a quantum wave. I don't believe I'm saying those two words in the same sentence, but hey, it's it's extraordinary. It just looks. And you know, yeah, looks can be deceiving and all that, but in this you gotta say what you spot, and that's what I spot from that. Also, entanglement. Jeez, I was trying to think of the fucking name of it. Also, I think that this is um, possibly superposition and entanglement working in tandem. Um, Superposition is when one object can be in two places at once. And entanglement is if one thing happens to an object, it happens to another. They're essentially linked. That is what that appears to me. If you have, take out for a moment what is being sent from A to B. So you have position A and position B. These are the points where the warps happen between between point A and point B. Point A sends energy from itself to point B. Okay, we're taking that part out. Look at point A and point B. What happens when the information reaches point B? Point B receives information and it disappears and goes to point A. Point A essentially regurgitates that energy. And how does it do that? How does it know to do that? Well, the instance where point B has gotten a certain amount of energy, let's say one blip, point A then sends out one blip. Now, point A has no idea that this is going on unless it is linked to point B. So what you have, in my eyes, would be superpositioning. The entanglement comes in when the blip hits point B. How does A know how to send out only one blip? It can't unless it knows about what's happening with point B, and the only way it can happen, the only way it can know, is if it's entangled. So what happens to one happens to the other. I would almost guarantee you, if you took that one blip and you sent it all the way back at point A, it would come out at point B. I could almost guarantee that. Because that's the only way I see it working. Point A and point B are entangled and superpositioned. And it comes up as a wave. That I can't get out of my head. It comes up as a wave. A quantum wave. So where does the blip go? Does it go, if you can open up Paint, draw the circle and draw 2 points and then drag the line underneath the circle. The one blip that disappears through B, does that mean it goes to the second instance of A? Or does it go back to the original A? Or the original instance of A? Its own little circuit. questions and food for thought for the day, I guess. This is a very odd way of seeing it. Also, I want to point out that superposition and entanglement are essentially the same thing. Now, this is just my own hypothesis on it. I don't think anyone's tried to fully express this kind of thought, because a lot of scientists have noticed differences between them. But you're essentially looking at the same thing, in a way. Superposition is one object in two places at once. Okay. And entanglement is a link between two objects over impossible distances. Or it could be linked between impossible distances. But you're looking at that as if it's two completely different things, when in superposition one item can be in two places at once. It also simultaneously could not be at two places at once. Where entanglement is if it happens to one, it happens to the other. Aren't you essentially looking at the same thing when you see superposition? It's in two places at once, but again, simultaneously, it could not be in two places at once. So it's essentially a 1 and a 0. 1 is it's there in two places at once, and 0 being it's not. So what is happening to one is happening to the other. Entanglement is a strange beast. You're looking at it, or at least I'm looking at it, in a very weird way. I know a lot of scientists understand this stuff, and they're seeing it every day, and they're trying to understand it as best they can. But entanglement is a completely different beast from regular physics. It states if it happens to one, it will happen to the other, as long as they are linked, as long as they are entangled. So, could you have something entangled if it doesn't exist? I guess more food for thought. Because it could simultaneously exist and not exist, while still being entangled. But then is it still entangled if it doesn't exist? Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that. That's kind of strange. Probably nothing will come out of it, but whatever. I like quantum physics. It's strange, but I like it. It gets my brain going. So, yeah. Yep, that's me. That was my thought for the day. I hope you all have a wonderful day, or whatever time zone you're in. Yeah, have a good one.